and Carlos Santos did tweak his groin a little bit. That's why we went with our punter. He did the kickoffs. Pat O'Donnell handled that, and we were available for kicks, but just short kicks. It was a little bit of a range issue, but didn't come to fruition.
Welcome back for another episode of The Tailgate Show. That, of course, was none other than John Fox dubbing the kicker of the Bears, Cairo Santos. Carlos Santos.
Got that bag, trying to set a tone playing Fox right now, man. Oof.
Bro, Carlos just got paid. We got a kicker. Damn it.
Team's leading scorer. You got to pay him.
Bro, he's the second best offensive player on the team, practically. Maybe third. I could put Montgomery above him.
Hey, we found a kicker.
Oh, look at this. The legend. The legend himself. The George U is here. Super troll to the stars. The George U is here in the chat saying, and he says, I want Nick Foles starting next season. He's a class act, unlike Deshaun and Russell Wilson. I mean, George, let's see.
Tag him.
Yeah, George, I mean, I can't argue with you. I think Nick Foles is a leader, number one.
Super Bowl champion.
I mean, he's a Super Bowl MVP. Let's not forget this. Why wouldn't we want him leading this team, having a chance with a full offseason? Allen Robinson is going to be here at least on a 1-year deal. He's going to be playing for another contract. He can pout all he wants, but he's not going to sit out. Nick Foles is the answer, guys. Cancel the Russ watch. Cancel the Russ watch. Stand down, Russ watch. Foles is it. This is it. Look, the George U. Foles is the first guy in, last guy out. I agree with all your points. My friend Raul convinced me. Well, that's the thing, is if Raul Bennington...
He's a student of the game, too.
High motor, too. Like an unbelievable motor.
Cerebral.
And here's a kicker with Foles. He really cares.
He does.
Yeah. It's real.
Bro, he wants to win, and that's real.
And he sees
real
things,
now.
too. Yeah. Talks back to Nagy.
And gets in his face. Nagy, you bitch. Nagy, you bitch. I'm going to grab your fucking visor and...
You'll have to say 7 Hail Marys next time at prayer circle.
Let Foles cook, he says.
Unless we get two like all-pro tackles, you need like an O-line and a half in front of him.
Bro, you're not even saying what's up? We peeping the corn hat, checking out the corn gear.
Oh, shut up! Look at that.
Oh, shucks. Oh my God! Oh shucks! Whoa, what just happened? Oh, I just went full screen.
Yeah, so that's in reference to Corn Hub, right? Like Hub Arkush?
Yeah, that could be in reference to Hub, Wet Blanket Arkush. Definitely.
Wow.
I mean, okay, so people know what we're talking about. Hub wrote an article, and it was basically like, the Bears don't need a quarterback, and it's not as big of a deal as you think it's going to be. And here's all the ways the Bears are just going to just continue to drive the mediocrity bus right over mediocrity falls. And it's fucking just detailed. Like, it's thought out. Like, he has planned this shit out. Like, almost as if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's not even like negative. It's so realistic that it's painful. Like, you just read it and you're like, oh my fucking God, like, this sounds true. Like, I'm predicting myself having podcasts complaining about these very things. So it's like, you can get mad at Hub, but Hub has seen this shit. Hub has, like, slept inside this Bears shit like it was the fucking Matrix for like
You
40
thought it-
years.
You thought it smelled bad on the outside.
Yeah, bro. Like he's in the pod, in the goop, just like in there, in the fucking Hallis Matrix. So I can't really like. It's like I want to get mad at Hub, and it's like, but it's like, dude has, he's a grizzled vet to this shit. Like we think we are. Like he, so he's gonna see the negative. I mean, and there's a lot of Hubs in this fan base, right?
Oh, remember Mariotti? My God.
Bro, oh my God. Mariotti's number one. Mariotti's a fucking psychopath.
He was
brutal. Inside of the psychopath, like he's like a little Russian doll of crazy. You know what I mean? Like inside the psychopath is a regular ass bitter Bears fan.
Who was that old dude that used to write the columns too? I can't forget.
Rosenthal. Fucking
God, he was brutal.
Bro. There's some old ass like fucking.
Hub's
like,
filling a role right now.
Yes, and he's smart. It's the same shit. Like Hub is doing his own version of Skip Bayless of whatever. It's like he's not gonna echo what everybody else is saying. But the thing about him is that it's a real fucking opinion. Like it's not an act. Like this dude thinks this, and he goes to like the nth level of description, where you're like, "Fuck, I'm so mad you wrote this because you just fucking killed my whole vibe, Hub." Like that's what happened. You
Murder?
Yeah, it's like you buzzkill. Like Hub is just a fucking buzzkill. Like respect the hell out of the dude. He's like a legend, but he's a buzzkill. God damn it. We work ourselves up into a frenzy, and this dude fucking.
What about the frenzy though? Like it's almost like
it's
overkill. I'm over it.
Corny. It's corny.
It's like I can't help like try and keep refreshing shit. Like I know. Like I can't look away.
Yeah,
like
it
I
is.
want to, but I can't.
It's right, but it's FOMO, fear of missing out. Like we want to be there when the shit goes down because
that'd be huge, man. Like
because we're chasing
top 5 quarterback in the league like that.
It'd be unreal. It'd be unbelievable. It'd be totally not anything the Bears ever
We all remember the Mac moment and how like thrilling that was when we got him.
Even before
this
that,
would be like
the color moment. I was jacked, man, at the time.
Right, but now we experience it en masse. Like we're this fucking gross, like hive mind creature that experiences everything all at once. And it's, that's what the addiction of Twitter is. Like you're on Twitter and you're like, I don't want to miss what this person said. I don't want to miss a reaction to what I've put out, and we all want to experience that shit again. Like we all can't wait to fucking take our stupid videos and send them in of ourselves screaming and all this shit. Partially because it's fucking fun. And what else is there?
Twitter's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, exactly. Also, just because it's fucking nuts, like and that's just where everybody's at. But we want that feeling. We're chasing that feeling, because it would be 20 times the Mac feeling. Because we like had the build up to it. Like nobody really got that hype that we were going to get Mac. It was a total surprise, so it was out of left field. We're
hyped, but we're used to defense too. So like it was big, but like a quarterback.
Right. This would be like I don't like.
It's uncharted territory, boys.
Yeah, like I would just like. I mean,
and there could be no legitimacy to it at all either. But it's just like Russ said, we were one of the teams. There's smoke. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I would be so shocked. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to happen, but I would be crazy shocked if there is not extremely high level of legitimacy to this shit.
You think when you want it to go down before free agency though? Because like this is like if you want guys to come here on cheap. I'm just saying we get Russ, then like guys will want to come here on cheap deals. Like that's a different.
Right. But look how messy shit gets. Look at like Jarvis Landry. Look at fucking what was the other guy I was just thinking of? Like how the Mac. I mean even Mac. How the negotiation went down. How dirty it got. How messy it got. How shitty it got. All the bullshit. Right. Like. All the different things that were said. You go back, like look at, like go poke around Raiders Twitter in 2018 2017, it's fucked up. Like, there's a crazy split. Like, it's just drama. Like, the drama has been real with all that shit. And this side of it, it's like we would have like almost done this. Like, we would feel responsible somehow for Russ coming to Chicago. Like, we'd feel like we made it happen in some fucking way. We didn't feel like that with Mac. It was like super exciting, but this would just be like unfucking believable. Yeah. Like, and that's why we're on this FOMO shit. That's why we're refreshing like lunatics. That's why we're like cracked out on this shit even more.
Bear Down Loyal took an edible, so he's calmed down on his Santos rage.
Oh yeah, Bear Down Loyal says I worked myself into a frenzy over Carlos Santos. Then I took an edible, and now I'm cool with it. Strong play, my friend. Well done, well done. You don't want to get caught up with Cairo Santos because, I mean, you know, all the cap gurus of Twitter sure fucking got real caught up, right? Like,
you just throw void years on deals. That's how this seems to work now.
Yeah, right.
That really got them stirred up, though, about voided years. And
bro, like, Brad Biggs broke the story. Props to Brad Biggs. He put it out there.
I'm blocked.
I'm blocked. Sorry. I found out from NFL trade rumors.
Right. Well, props to Biggs.
I have them muted.
Right. Like, this dude put it out there, and then the fucking, you know, shout out to these dudes. Thank you for all the shit you do, all the spot track and OTC and
why can't I need that chatterbait
and all that shit. Like, thanks nerds. Like, thanks for doing this shit for us. We love it. But they all came off sprung. Like, they're so
fighting with a bunch of accountants and shit.
Bro, like, they're so bowed up to like get their fucking analysis out there and tell us the contract and the ramifications and it's like, you fucking like pent up freaks. Like, relax, bro. Like, you don't know. Like, they just can't wait. Like, it's like I fucking send a spreadsheet and screenshots and the fucking look at all the shit I know. It's like,
that's such a thing. You got the fantasy football and people love the numbers. And then the PFF numbers weren't enough, so now it's the contracts and it's just.
Well, and that's the thing is that what it is? Like, when you're an analyst guy, like, the fucking, you know, like, the really making it is leaving the hard numbers sites and going to, like, hard numbers for money, which is what PFF is. It's like, hey, we're going to take all these numbers and we're going to craft an amazing story for you.
You can't tell me they're not paid by agents either. The way they were pumping A-Rod, they were like, "Oh, A-Rob is the top 5 receiver when the winds are about 10 miles an hour." It's just like, oh my god, bro. Like,
how long have I been saying that PFF is fucking Scientology for stats?
It's smart for them. I mean, Vayner Sports is definitely paying them to promote it.
Bro, absolutely. Like, are they fucking kidding us with this shit? Like, apparently the Bears don't make their payments, by the way, because it's like PFF constantly has to. And it, like, I knew some shit was up when they all of a sudden got on Mitch's jock.
Bears are late on their subscription.
Like, wasn't that something? Like, now I'm thinking that Mitch's agent paid PFF to jock him like that.
Mm-hmm.
When they, like, out of the blue, all of a sudden PFF was on 10's nuts. Like, that was weird, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, they just flipped on Mitch. Like, they started making up shit. Like, I mean, don't think that there's not some manipulation. Like, you think that these fucking, I mean, this is the level that shit is at now. Like, they are manipulating it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe Cody Whitehair misses a couple of blocks. Maybe. Oh, look who came back to claim the MVP. There it is. Scandal. PFF delivers Mitch the MVP. Oh, what a scandal.
George put in their chat too. Schwartz getting cut. They cut Fisher and they cut their center. Like the Chiefs, and then they had Sherman retired. Some good blocking skill dudes there. Like,
yeah,
how many million are they in on their quarterback? Oh, that could be interesting.
I'm here to tell you right now that Mahomes is next in requesting a trade. If they lose the entire fucking offensive line
and their fullback,
they lost both tackles and their center. Bro, like, and they're not just anybody. These are the guys that supposedly that's why they lost the Super Bowl, right? Like, that's what we were told. The 2 tackles being missing is the reason. When the Bucs didn't really have anything to do with it, was just as these tackles were out. Okay.
Fisher's pretty. I mean, the Achilles is going to take a while for him to come back from.
Bro, and Schwartz has back issues. Like, they're both fucked up. So, I mean, like, everybody, I mean, this is cool.
I'll take a flyer on Schwartz at right tackle, though.
I'm glad we signed.
Indeed.
I'm glad we signed Cairo, and everybody had a little spaz out about it, for a minute.
This draft is deep in tackle, though. I think that's a sign of that.
Yeah, you can say that.
It's also a sign of that, bro. This is like on a bloodbath. This is bloodbath shit. Like, they lost $15 million. Each team did.
Oh yeah, it's coming. That's not the only team going to make some tough cuts.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get worried about Akeem, guys. Like, I don't know why. I guess I just didn't want to think about it.
You restructure him, you'll be all right.
You're at that age, man. You're at that age.
It's one of those things where it's like,
be late. What do you want to be?
Exactly. But
I'd rather be early.
Right, and what do you think? It's like, you think that they somewhere in their heart regret the Danny Trevathan signing, or can they even think that way?
You think it's between him and Kwiatkowski. I mean, it's kind of a push.
Yeah.
I mean, Quid hasn't really done anything.
No.
Either. So I mean, which hairy shit are you gonna like the best?
Right. Like, I mean, none of them. Let's just be honest. None of them are the Bears legend that Jarrell Freeman was, though.
Well, I mean, hey, put that right in my veins, brother.
Yeah, tonight, Bears Twitter told me that Jarrell Freeman was forgotten and underappreciated for his fucking 16 games of suspension for PED use. But he was great. What a fucking great player. Him and Sam Hurd, huh?
Yeah. Oh, he was good.
Chop it out.
For the one season he played. For the 12 games he played, yes, he was fucking good. But, like,
he was a bright spot on a shitty defense, though. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so he's probably on the PEDs, and I'm not Pollyanna about PEDs. I know
Urlacher wasn't.
My issue is that dude was sloppy. Like, all the fucking guys are on PEDs on some level. It's about whether you're sloppy or not and get caught. That's the reality of it.
I mean, Adderall's a PED, which is, we don't know what.
Yeah, like, listen, I'm not like, oh, PEDs, he's a cheater. Like, football, I mean, come on. That's fine. I'm fine with these dudes. I'm fine with everyone being on PEDs for the record. Baseball should give them out, like, all day, every day, as far as I'm concerned. The game would be amazing.
No, football, too. These guys need to recover quick.
Bro,
I don't have a problem with it either.
Sidebar, but, let's get the steroid era really going. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I say. Is like, to keep trying to figure out how to fix the game.
Make everybody look like Lyle Alzado and shit.
Bro, they don't even need to. But that's the thing is, that's the old school, like, fucking Barry Bonds era steroids. The steroids now are like fucking
like TB12.
Genetically laser targeted, and they don't make your head grow big. Like, they're not. This is like next level shit. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, unleash the technology. You know what I mean? Like, let's see the greatest fucking baseball of all time. Why not? Like, I mean, unless the reality is that. Down in the DR and everywhere, they're already doing them.
I'm sure they're using them when they want these guys back from these like career-ending injuries. Guys are coming back from now. That's not all natural. Like,
well, bro, how do these 14-year-olds fucking hit like that? I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying. Like, I know they do it all day, every day. It's always sunny, blah blah blah. But, like, it's crazy. Anyway, that's a total sidebar. So, but my point is that I don't fucking care about steroids. Dude was sloppy. Like, he didn't even play. Come on.
How you guys feeling about the franchise tag over there?
It's you know what?
So respected. How? First of all, good on Pace for sticking to his guns, and now what he's done is he's extended his time to talk down Robinson until July, so he can still get a deal done.
Right. It's in the toolbox. It is what it is. Like, nobody was fucking surprised by this. Great job by A-Rob.
Making $18 million for a year.
Great job by A-Rob for
Check,
fucking fucking pitching a little fit and acting the part. You know what I mean? And he's got his shit. Like, at this point, I'm not even sure if A-Rob's tweeting for himself. Like, I feel like it's all his agents. You know what I mean? Like, except when he does his PS5 shares, he was basically like a little salty, and then he's like, wait, I just got I got signed up for $18 million for one season. Like, are you really going to be such a fucking ingrate that you stomp around and stomp your feet about that in the middle of a fucking pandemic? Like, are you really that dude? That's like, I just signed up for 18 mil to play football, and I'm fucking mad about it. I'm pouting in the corner. Like, god damn, like, that's just, I mean,
Well, he
that's
didn't
fucked up.
really he didn't react to the tag though. He hasn't said anything publicly after.
No, but he's been crying about the tag for months.
Oh, sure.
He's been having like TED Talks. Him and Andrew Brandt are like Batman and Robin, like fighting the evil franchise tag.
I get it, though. I mean, he's only got so many paychecks he can get. But, I mean, the idea that, this somehow he's not set for life. If he's not set for life after these past two contracts, he's got bigger problems than his next contract.
Right, like, you're talking about $60 total million the Bears will have given him for 4 seasons. If you didn't figure out how to fucking generate generational wealth off of that, I'm sorry. I know that your tax rate is very high, and the agent takes 20%. Whatever.
In this climate, I don't know if there was another team willing to give him that. To be quite honest, like they're not looking to like break banks here.
Oh, he would have went to Indy or somewhere.
Yeah,
there's money there.
There's teams with cap space that would have taken him. I think he can get 20. I don't think he's not getting more than 20. He's getting the Keenan Allen deal.
See, I'm frustrated with him just because I know he was the reaction to Kevin White not working out with Pace, so he had Pace had to throw money at because we're in the same position with the quarterback with Pace, but that was because Kevin White didn't pan out. So, but
these Bears players,
but even like A-Rob though, man, like the production, I understand the quarterbacks aren't good, but 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns is replaceable. Yeah, I just don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
in an ideal NFL offense, it is. In the Chicago Bears offense, it may not be.
Dude, he was giving up on a lot of shit though. Like he was loafing a little bit. I don't know, man. Like I think we would have been able to survive without him. People acting like, oh God, if we lose A-Rob, we're done. We're like, really? I don't know, man.
I mean, I think without Allen Robinson last year, we have a top 5 pick. So what good is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the linchpin to mediocrity with the talent that he has around him. You know what I mean? So it's
he's been relegated to a possession receiver here.
Well, we're $17.5 million over, and we're an 8-8 football team. Thanks, Ryan Pace.
Well, and I don't know. Like, this is the other thing. It's like, okay, cap experts. Like, how come you keep getting got on Twitter? Like,
I like A-Rob just like I like Marty Booker. You know what I mean?
Right, but the Bears have carryover cap. Pace didn't spend all the cap last year. He didn't spend like 7.5.
That's a good comp, Brian.
What?
Marty Booker and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I think Allen Robinson is.
He didn't have anybody around him either till.
No, Robinson's more of an
athlete.
Booker was more plotting. I mean, Booker was really more of a true.
It's just the way the ball's been forced to A-Rob. He's not a possession receiver. He'd be much better with a better quarterback. But
of course,
terrible quarterback play. I mean, Jim Miller was what he was,
but you know what? Like, put the fucking violins down for dude. Like, I'm tired of all the A-Rob stands like crying for this. He deserves more and fucking. It is what it is, man. Like, you fucking play in this CBA, and the problem with the CBA is that they will never, the rank and file players playing for the minimum will never be convinced by the top 1% of the league to do X, Y, and Z because it doesn't fucking help them.
Any real Bears fan knows this was coming. If you didn't know this was coming, then Maybe
No,
pay attention to what's going on.
It's coming, but that's the social media theater of all of it. And A-Rob's doing it, and so are Bears fans on Twitter. It's like don't react. Here's what I think. Like it's like, and I don't even think they think that. Like it's all fucking act. It's like, I mean, most of them, it's like, you see, it's like, oh, it's like, Happy Mooney is saying something, or Bear Down 246832164 is fucking really mad about X, Y, or Z. It's like, oh, these fucking bots. Like shit is.
Sorry, man. UConn won 94-60.
We ain't talking about college basketball today.
Oh, my bad.
UConn.
Hey,
Fuck
whatever.
you, man. Fuck Archie Miller. Sip his ass out. Sorry. Go ahead.
Who? Anthony Miller?
Archie Miller.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So
I thought you said we weren't talking college basketball.
Yeah, IU has a basketball team.
No, we're a football school now, fucker.
That's true. Yeah. The big Phoenix is coming back to throw down.
You better believe it.
The big old Phoenix.
Anyway.
Anywho, so Cairo Santos gets a contract. That's cool. I mean, dude was fucking good. Like, you can't, I mean, we talked about it, but it's like, we should be happy about this, but we can't even fucking, like, to me it says, to me it says,
the last kicker we paid, who was it?
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't, it was Parkey, but I don't know. He never did it. Like, Cairo has proved that he can do it in Soldier Field. Okay? Sure. That's the difference.
Oh, we found a kicker. I'm fine with it. What, $3 million for 3 years?
Now, what do you do? What do you do with a guy you traded draft capital for now?
He goes away, or he stays on the practice squad if he wants. He's their practice squad kicker if he wants. I mean,
maybe not like a 7th round pick though.
Yeah, it was a conditional 7th. Whatever. We've got two comp picks. They should have gotten 4, but the rules fucked us because there's some reason they said there's only a limit of 32 fucking picks. Dude, remember and I don't remember this, but I hear people talking about it. Then the draft was like
the old school draft, yeah,
like 30. What was it, like 60 rounds or something insane?
Yeah, I used to go to it every year.
In a stroller, motherfucker? What are you talking about? You used to go in your onesie?
Here's the point about draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
We have undrafted free agents and 7th round draft picks starting on our offense and defense.
Agreed.
So it matters.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but like
it's just another thing where we're throwing money at a Ryan.
Well, and it's another thing where the Nagy show and the Pace show was a whole lot of fucking smoke and mirrors and fireworks that didn't even result in anything. Cairo Santos was because of COVID.
We gave up draft capital to enter him into the kicker derby.
Right.
Right.
That's
like
how
we had to go buy a guy to win our own contest. Like literally, they fucking called the Super Friends and they all showed up and they all were trash. And then on the way out of the contest, like they ran over a kicker with their car and nursed him back to health. Like it's such a fucking it's such a joke. Like they did,
and we expect them to get the quarterback thing right. I just
that's what I'm saying, bro.
I just have this feeling that yes, it's fun to think about.
Well,
Russ
you know why they're gonna get it right is because they've got Flippo and Nagy.
They've got everything else.
But I could just picture them coming out and saying, "We tried. We left no stone unturned." But we're
my god, they're setting it up.
Bro,
they're putting an act on. There is a small part of me that thinks that Pace and Nagy are complete fucking frauds, and they're putting an act on for their total nincompoop, just dumb fuck bosses who
if they pull this off, we'll have to correct ourselves next episode. But
bro, like you think George can really determine whether or not Pace is doing something or not doing something.
No, but if Wilson walks through the door, he'll be the greatest GM ever.
Like, George comes in and he's about to ask about the team, and Ryan's like, "Oh, George, I'm really fired up about these smoothies." And George is like, "Oh, everything's great." And forgets the fucking question he was going to ask about about anything football related. And then they go, and it's like, George is, it's like, "Come over here. I got your happy ending room. In the back, like, the fucking inner lower basement
craft room."
Yeah, like, they got some kind of.
Come here, Ryan.
Yeah, like they got some fucking skull and bones, like, sex dungeon in the bottom of that place, bro. Like, something's going on. I'm just saying, like, it's weird.
It is.
And that's like Hub is seen into the void, bro. Like Hub knows things that he can't tell anyone.
Like old school, probably. Yeah, I don't know how much he knows now. He's just an old crotchety fuck now.
Yeah, right. But it's because he's seen shit, bro. Like he's
sure we've seen shit too,
right? But I'm just saying he's numb. I just feel like he's numb to the. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So I hate him because he's right a lot, and also
he's so battle tested. What a freaking vet! Like
right? No, I know. I mean, whatever. It's if you decide to be negative, you're going to be right about the Bears a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so sad. But it's so true.
Right. Like if that's your MO, and this is the MO of a lot of Bears fans, a lot of Bears fans are extremely comfortable just wallowing in this negativity soup that we stir up.
I don't like being negative, but
no,
it's just
fortunately
so
if you're real, you're gonna end up sounding negative.
Yeah.
Speaking of negative,
what?
Well, you were talking about Akeem Hicks. Do you think he's the next cap casualty of the Chicago Bears, or do they go elsewhere?
I think you got to do everything you can to restructure him. He's an important piece to this team, man. Like just his persona, his leadership. Like if they do end up going to that route, it's because they just couldn't get a restructure done.
I think they will do right by him, and I think he'll get a similar. He's gonna get. Probably, I hope, this is what he should get. He should get like a 2 or 3 year deal with a bunch of money on the back end. You know what I mean? That he gets later. Like he should get like a 3 year, $30 million deal.
So you're kicking it down the curb later.
Yes, and that's fucking fine because the cap is going.
Don't they have to like June to get it right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. Like everybody acts like they have to. They don't have to be under the cap until like the 15th of July or something.
Right. So in that, if you do bring Russ in, dudes are going to be restructuring like crazy because that's a whole different. That's a whole different tone to this.
Or Deshaun, we keep saying Russ.
Oh, yeah. I just don't. Deshaun, man, you're talking a lot. They're going to want like serious draft capital.
Well, they're going to want serious everything for Russell Wilson.
I think Deshaun's a little different. He's younger. Like
it's delusional to think. It's delusional to think different.
Yeah, but Deshaun's 7 years. He's 7 years younger, man. Like you got teams like Miami that you're giving up like top 5 picks for that guy.
I feel like the no trade aspect of things is much more palpable and real with Russ. So I feel like it feels like he has more power in the situation than Deshaun does, which doesn't really make sense. And you could totally argue that I'm wrong, but I just feel like it just feels, and maybe we're being optimistic, but it feels like we've got this list of 4, and we're so certain that we're actually whittling down.
Yeah, because Dak signed a $66 million bond.
So it's like, he's plucked off. Good. I figured that was what was going to happen, and somebody put up. Some of the Cowboys. Go ahead.
Sorry, man. Russ's situation in Seattle's a little different too because he hasn't come out and said I will not play here. So he has more control because he still has his team to fall back on. Where Deshaun's like, I am out of here.
Right. Did you hear the Greg Olson comments?
Mm-hmm. What did he say?
So Greg Olson was on something. Dan Patrick or
I saw an article on it. Yeah,
somebody's podcast, something. And he basically was like, listen, Russell Wilson is like, is like exemplary. Like he is the picture of like leadership and fucking, like he's that dude that is like just working so hard and everybody wants to get up to his level. Like he is that dude.
Yep.
And he flipped and like was, went to them and said, hey, like I need to be a part of the decision-making process on shit. And they basically told him no. And he fucking was like, like, fuck this.
Okay,
and
let's work from there. Do you see Nagy and Pace doing that?
Well, this is my, like, I want Russell Wilson, and I'll deal with all the problems that come with it afterward because it's not going to be perfect. And it's just
they fired Schottenheimer too. That was his guy. Like that,
right.
that didn't help.
This is what I'm saying is that what if a 12-4 Seahawks team can't make this dude happy? Why can the Bears?
Because I think that he's looking to he that was all on his shoulders, really. Like I think he's looking to be in a better. We have a better defense right now.
But this is also what he said, is that Olson said he wants it on his shoulders. He wants to be like.
But Pete Carroll's not an innovative. He's pretty stuck in his ways and old. Like you come here, it's a young in league circles. It's a young offensive mind. Like he has respect in the league. I think Russ coming into a new situation might not be like I want to take over. He just wants input. I think Nagy will work with him like that.
Of course he will, and I don't doubt that. I think Nagy's going to tell him literally anything and do anything for Russ. Like, he will literally do anything for Russ.
Look what he did for Mitch. He really did try dumbing the shit down.
Absolutely. Like, all these idiots that claim that Nagy didn't change the offense, like, you're fucking morons.
He tried hard to make things work for Mitch. He's proven that he's trying.
Right.
He will try to do everything to make a quarterback work.
He tried to do both. We've been hard on Nagy as anyone. But he tried to do both. He tried to run his system, and he tried to tailor shit to Mitch.
He tried developing a guy that you can't.
And in his defense, although this is interesting, is that all of a sudden Nagy's like bagging on his own practices. But his defense, he said, and by all accounts, supposedly Mitch was great in practice. So supposedly against this great defense, Mitch is able to execute these plays in practice.
And we heard all season how good practices were.
Right. And I don't think that that's a lie, because the way that Nagy would go out and call these games, he really had a confidence that this shit was going to work. And it had to be coming from somewhere.
But then he comes out and says practices need to be better.
Well, yes, and that's what he was saying, is that, and he's acknowledging what fucking happened. What happened, and we talked about this ad nauseum to some degree, is that they fucking got big heads. They got big fucking heads. They thought that they had arrived.
Dialed it back a little bit.
Yeah, they just were like, oh, we got this. Like, everybody's pulling for us. The Bears 100 circle jerk went crazy. We were all screaming Super Bears, Super Bowl. Like, the shit went, and the standard slipped, and that's what Nagy said he was on with Wiederer and Biggs on their YouTube channel. And he said, he admitted that maybe the standard slipped. It's like, oh, you think?
Did Olin them discuss that about the standard?
Yeah, they talked about the interview.
Yeah.
They talked about and basically what Owen was saying is that once that happens, it's over.
I don't know. They just picked the wrong quarterback.
I agree.
And then they brought in the wrong quarterback.
Right, but I think that but I think what Nagy is talking about, and I hope this is what he's talking about, is that what slipped is football has to be a hierarchy, right? Like everybody has to understand why the starters are the starters on a football team. If you have dudes that are starting that everybody goes, why the fuck is this guy starting? It's a problem. You think it's a problem for fans that Rashad Coward is starting? How the fuck do you think the players feel?
Yeah.
And then when they see the backups finally get in, not because like the coaches were finally aware and gave them the opportunity they so deserved by fucking accident. And those dudes come in and play well. You think the players are not like, fuck these dudes? They don't know who's fucking good.
It's like when you're out, I mean, just my experience, you get lined up against this guy and you're just killing him in practice every time. And yet somehow he still starts over you. It's like,
bro, it's crazy. And that's what I'm saying is that I think that was made worse by all this Zoom bullshit. You know?
yeah.
And plus, I'm sure Nagy is just loving the smell of his own farts on these Zoom fucking calls.
Right.
Like, because you can't see dudes, like, nodding off and fucking, not paying attention and fucking, you can't feel the vibe. Because if you're killing it and you're giving a good speech, like in front of a class or like whatever, when it's going well and when it's not going well. And with Nagy on the Zoom shit, like he's just cooking up a whole salad bar, a word salad, just going. Nobody's going to check him. But he can't even feel the vibe and be like, oh, my bullshit's not flying today. Because it's all on Zoom. So it's like,
you just get the mute.
Right. And then, so Rashad Coward probably, would be like, oh, I think you're right, Coach Nagy. And it's like, oh, Rashad Coward really cares.
Yeah, people getting all in their feelings when Coward got
kibosh. Because they're pissed, like, because it makes no sense. Like,
people were actually like upset that he left. I was celebrating. I was like, it's about time.
No, it actually didn't happen.
That he left. Well, it hasn't even officially happened. They just didn't tender him right now.
Right.
Like, he could still end up on this fuking team. I mean, Massey's gone. Sorry, Mrs Massey is mad at me.
I'm sorry, Miss Massey.
Yeah, like Mrs.
You got a knack of getting the ladies pissed at you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, the player wives, and I don't say anything out of line or rude.
Coward, now Massey. You were polite. You weren't an asshole.
I was just keeping it real.
We need to make a song now. I'm sorry, Miss Massey.
Woo, I am for real. Never meant to make you so mad.
Cry.
Yeah, no, he didn't cry. I mean, he didn't cry. But
no, he don't care.
No, I mean, he knows what's real. And she's like, oh, well, he had two different 300-pound guys roll up on him. It wasn't like he was walking and he broke. What?
What about his vertigo that came out of nowhere?
Yeah, like, come on. Like, I know. It's like,
part of it, man.
Like, she has every right to defend her husband, so I'm not even tripping on that. But, I mean, all I said was, because
she wasn't mean about it.
She wasn't mean. She was just defending him. Ian Rappaport said, a capable starter hits the market.
No, like
and I just said, capable starter?
Anthony Gordon's mom last off.
Capable starter? I was like, dude has missed like fucking 18 games. Like, come on, he's a backup. He's a backup.
Shout out Carmen and Yurko.
Like, he already, like, yeah, exactly. Like, Carmen Yurko, I don't even know. What did they say? I didn't even listen to it. So apparently
they read your tweet. Yeah, they read your tweet verbatim.
Which tweet?
The one about being a backup or not being a starter and it being a stretch.
Oh, right. So that's probably why she got picked up on the wives circuit.
Yeah.
I was like the one time I wasn't listening to Carmen and Yurko, but shout out Trubiscuits and Gravy for calling that out that they mentioned that. That's funny. I didn't even realize that was what they said.
They pretty much read the tweet.
Hey, it says something like, from our guys at the tailgate show. I'm like, oh, that's all right. That's cool.
Well, he does follow us. Props to Carm. He follows us even though Mike North has us blocked. I don't know. I hope he doesn't. I'm not sure if he's put two and two together. I hope he doesn't put two and two together and be like. But I mean, if Carm knows why, Carm knows Mike North's a fucking blowhard. Like, come on. These guys all know who they are.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We're just having fun out here.
Yeah, it's all a game. Like,
game, man.
Yeah, well,
That's
and
absurd.
plus, like, sports radio is fucking mud wrestling, bro.
How many more
Like, it's-
podcasts are there going to be? I mean,
Oh
my
my
God, there's
God.
another one. House of L's got another one since
Like
JJ.
when
I guess.
we started doing this, it was like okay. Like when we first started podding, it was like
Yeah.
everybody's doing it now. And then you got
It's crazy.
I'll throw shade later.
Yeah, go ahead. Under center
Nah.
stinks.
Oh,
They fucked that up bad.
it's in transition. They'll figure it out.
Well, here's what's funny about Under Center is that, like, so now you guys are kicking it real, huh? Like, they're fucking biting us.
Yes.
They're biting the style. And it's not like we're the only ones doing this style, like, of being just people. Like, but, like, I mean, we got fucking, props and shit, whatever. So it's a little, fucking done up or whatever. But, like, it's like, really? Like, you guys, they just did a cold open. Like, it was so unproduced. Like, it sounded like shit. Like, come on. Like, these dudes want to act like it's like, get your audio together. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
That's what I'll give Olin credit for, man. The audio is actually pretty good.
The production is on point with Olin and J-Mac. And they sound
He
good.
also takes his SD card out and gives it to a...
Yeah, they sound good. They're like really recording into, like I mean, and this is fun for StreamYard and all that shit, but like they're doing like, real digital recording on like fucking, nice equipment. Like, and that's great. Like Under Center is supposedly NBC Sports Chicago. It's like, it sounded like shit. Hogue wasn't even on. Like, that's disrespectful to fucking the people that have been on that show before. JJ, shout out to JJ.
Yeah, congratulations. Even though you're going to the abyss of Indianapolis.
His wife's happy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've heard Indianapolis is pretty good.
These Colts fans don't deserve a good reporter like him.
Well, he started off at Notre Dame.
You just got an axe to grind against Indianapolis. Like
I do hate the Colts. I do hate them.
Well, he was with Notre Dame before the Bears. So.
I mean, right. I knew he would land on his feet. He's too good a dude, and he's got too many good connections to not land on his feet.
I mean,
but that's awesome.
Being hired by the team, that's a good gig.
Yeah. Like
the only thing is he doesn't have the opinionated freedom that like Larry Mayer has to blow smoke.
He's not going to be. I guarantee you, he's not going to be doing as many podcasts. But I wouldn't be surprised if because hiring somebody like him, they have to know who he is. They have to see his work.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they have to,
are there any Bears cast-offs down there? Oh, wait a minute. The GM's a Bears cast-off.
Of course. So Ballard knows who he is.
Yeah, I think JJ had a lot of creative freedom doing what he was doing. I just think it would be real, he has to tone it back a little bit.
Yeah, but he's not going to have to be Larry Mayer. Like, I think hopefully
he might have to be Larry Mayer in Indy because that market's super soft.
Maybe. I mean, you see their owner kind of be out there a little bit on Twitter.
Oh, Irsay's a partier. Don't get it twisted.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like maybe he's going to modernize?
I hope they do because I like JJ a lot and what he does and the thoughts that he brings to the table. So
either way, I'm glad dude is going to feed his family. Like that's fucking first and foremost because he's a good dude, hardworking dude. Like very good to everybody on Bears Twitter. Like fucking came on lots of people's podcasts, including ours. Like. Dude, like I mean, we we went through it, with him, with his, and from afar with his twins and all that kind of stuff. Like just a good ass dude. So like on a personal level, like completely aside from what team he's working for, like I don't care if he went and became the fucking general manager of a Jewel. I'd be like, bro, great fucking job. You got a job. That's badass. Provide for your family.
Right on.
Now. I think he got, that's a good ass gig. You know what I mean?
Great gig.
Like Larry Mayer is set for life on this job. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's like a millionaire or anything, but he's never gonna not have a job as long as he wants to be Larry Mayer for the Bears. He can just do that.
I couldn't be happier for JJ. Like you said, I just want to echo it. It's like the guy took time out of his day with his kids and jumped on our show. for
Right.
what, 35, 40 minutes? He didn't have to do that.
Absolutely not.
He didn't have to do that. And he did that for a lot of people.
Absolutely, he did.
You know? So anyway, you can
Yeah.
throw props out to him. And he's
For
getting a
sure.
good
And
one.
he got a ton of
And
love.
he's getting a good one.
You saw it. He was trending for a
Good.
minute there. Like, because people
He
were like,
deserves to.
yeah, he absolutely deserves it. So shout out to him. I mean, it's a fucked up, dysfunctional family, this podcasting and Bears Twitter world. But, there's some cool people in it.
Right on.
None of them are on this show, but.
No.
I hear you.
And the guy with the corn hat.
3 assholes.
Of the three
One
of
has
us.
a corn hat. Yeah,
Of
well,
the
Jared's
three
a
of
nice guy. Jared's a nice guy.
No, I'm just telling
Not
you.
me and
that.
Brian. Me and Brian are fucking assholes.
Pretty much.
Of the 3 guys to have a corn hat, it had to be you.
It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found somebody like you.
Oh, God. Cottage
So-
cheese? Oh.
Oh,
I don't want to go.
what?
Old milk and pantyhose, what?
Only
That's
3
okay.
fan pods off Twitter worth listening to. Shout out to you guys. What's up?
Nice,
Teresa
man.
and Gravy. We appreciate
Yeah,
your
we try to
fucking
make it fun.
support. Does lunch with Larry include cottage cheese at Aeronator? Cottage cheese. Yeah, there was a
No.
Raul. Shout out to Raul for starting a one-man war against cottage cheese. I don't know why. Raul is Raul, and he goes on his benders with Twitter, and I support all of them in my own way. So this one is no different. He didn't really get much traction. Raul was also yelling on Twitter for people to come fight him. He said he was in Houston in a park. and he named the park. He was like, yo, I'm in Houston at some park in Houston. Come fight me.
Raul put out on National Women's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, I see this
Yeah, we're
tweet
gonna let that
about.
one.
Yeah, he's like talking about the first time he ate ass or something. I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like, wow.
What a fucking hero.
Oh
The
my
point
God.
is, no, now I'm like the Pope of corn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're complaining about cottage cheese, but like 2 days before, you're talking about eating ass. Like,
Yo, corn Pope. Check it. Corn Pope.
There was no smoke rising. From
Ino Domine Elote.
Oh my God, you guys are too high.
those colors are starting to bother me. Actually,
Oh, come on. It's just corn.
yeah, but when you cover it over, it looks like a
I
Green Bay
know.
Packer like
Oh, you can be Packer
Colt
Pope.
hat.
The Pope of corn.
Pope of corn, instant corn.
There it is.
Packer
No,
Pope.
instant
From the guy
burner
that brought
account.
you. From the guy that brought you cinnamon cannon. It's
It,
of corn.
that guy didn't bring a cinnamon cannon.
Looking
Hey,
like
Oh,
a
no,
gnat.
it is. It is Kyle. Oh, I thought it was. I didn't even pay attention to the screen.
Kyle.
Kyle's the man. Kyle got the fucking jokes.
You look like an underwear gnome for Aaron Rodgers right now.
An underwear gnome.
Oh my God.
An underwear gnome, bro.
You didn't see South Park last night? We're the underwear
Oh my
gnomes.
God.
We're essential.
I haven't watched South Park.
Oh my God. Mr. Service.
Just the idea of now I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't make up underwear gnome, but it's still funny.
There was a big line trying to get vaccinations. All the old people were going by, like flicking people off, and then all of a sudden,
79 bitches.
yeah, the underwear gnomes show up. We're underwear gnomes. We're essential. Just stupid.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Classic.
So I'm
Where
gonna
were
throw.
you
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna throw some shade,
Throw it.
I'll throw it.
Throw it.
dude. Like
Cheat.
just the attention hungry, like wannabe breaking, like
Oh, those
sources. Like, oh my god, it's like so blatantly, like just like wackadaisical.
Yo, it is wackadaisical, bro. Like, What is happening? Like the thirst. Like, and I'm sorry, like and then they act like, why am I getting so much shade thrown at me? And it's not just us.
But then come back to try to defend it. Like, if you got something, if you got legit shit that you throw out there, you take the hits and roll.
Right. Like every so often you find 2 or 3 new Bears clones or Bears fan clones that sound like Jim Rome. Oh, boy, the clones. Fucking like that come along and they don't realize who the Bears blog is. And then you watch them like in real time kind of piece it together. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like at first they're like, oh, this guy's really connected. Wow. And then they like see the A-Rob shit and they hear about this and then they see him tweet a couple times. And dude has been doing his creepy voice tweets like, I'm sitting in a car right now and I just want you guys to know that you should all chill the fuck out.
Yes, silence is violence.
Yeah, like you're like this dude just like started doing like 90-second like mini podcasts alone in his
dude. I was about to put one out, just like me talking. Hey, Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
he likes the Bears.
It's like
you should too.
Like this dude sounds like the fucking the chick from the Tiger King. Like
I had a drink with
all you cool cats and kittens.
I had a drink with Mr. Redacted.
Yeah, it's like
this episode's all messed up.
Like, is this dude for real? So like that dude's a clown, right? And we know he's a clown. But it's like all part of the act, and then he's got his fucking little minions, like fucking Dennehy, who's like, I believe everything that Jeff says, It's like
I believe everything Rappaport and Jeff from the Bears blog says.
Right, like these are the only people that I trust.
Our boy True Biscuits and Gravy called out the Carson Wentz starter today. That was hilarious.
Yes, nailed him, bro. Oh, that guy B-Rob fucking unblocked us. Like I was like, how am I seeing this? He's back, right? Like, and he's I'm unblocking, like just like the Bears blog unblocked. That lasted like a day.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, it's funny because he unblocked my profile, but then he blocked the tailgate, and it used to be reversed. So like now he's blocked the tailgate. One at a time. Yeah, like dude, he's not even good at Twitter. Like it's like one of these fucking clowns that like every 10 minutes is like, this app is so stupid. Let me get back to posting on it. It's like, come on, bro. Like just relax. Like it's
Remember
not
the
stupid.
Story about him selling his blog? How he got so many offers.
The story, it's like on his homepage. Like you go to his like a page and it's like, let me tell you a story about how I almost made it.
He's a playwright, everybody. Just so that you know that he writes plays for a living.
Right, like he's just
not good ones, evidently.
Well, clearly not. Like maybe he could quit, fucking being a bad Bears blogger. Like, and he knows, like, I don't know who he knows, but he knows, like
Adam Johns or something, maybe.
Yeah, he definitely knows Johns and he knows Sylvie because they've both referenced him. But I'm talking about who he knows in the Bears organization, dude. It's like Tony Medlin's kid or something. Like it's like nobody. Like the information that he gets is just non-existent. Like
right.
He knows some fucking lunch lady. Like he doesn't know anyone.
It's probably the one that brought the seafood in and let it stink up Alice Hall a couple of years back.
Right, and it's like, but we've given shit to lots of people, and it's like, this is the deal. If you come out and you say you know some shit and you have zero credibility, you're going to get hammered for it.
That's it.
Like, you don't get to cry about it, because if you want to come out like that B-Rob did and just troll some serious bullshit, and not only that, but when you start to get called out on it, you pimp your own ride and fucking slow play that shit around town, like boom, 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 boom. Look at my take with the ground effects.
Austin too. Let's call it what it is.
Fucking Austin. I went right at Austin, and so did Zimmerman. It's like, quit being a clown, bro. It's like you look stupid. Like, and I'm wearing a corn hat, and you look stupid. Like a guy. We have a pretty good relationship. Hat is telling you look stupid. That's how stupid you look.
And Austin knows that's just how we are. We're gonna bust your balls.
It's not personal.
No, we like Austin, but it's just.
But you fucking clowned and you get clowned. So, like, just cut the shit out. Like, we don't need your insider information.
It's like people trying to be source egg, but
Well,
for real.
It would be one of those things that I would like if I knew somebody, I would like hold that shit close to me and not even say it and be like, okay, I'm going to check out if this actually pans out. And I'm not going to say anything to it. Then it'd be like the next time I'd be like, okay, this guy.
Here's the problem with that is that if you have an insider contact, we then have to believe that that insider contact is completely fine with you being a fucking source information vomiting stool pigeon ass bitch. So if you're this insider who wants to stay an insider, right? Ideally, you want to stay on the inside, correct?
So this, all right.
So when somebody finds out that you feed pellets of information to this fucking stoolie over here who's on Twitter squawking away, how long do you think that this insider is going to stay an insider?
Right, and I've had conversations with people through DM that are pretty decently connected, not like working for the team or anything, but like I don't put that shit out there because I want to know for myself, like, but I don't want to lose that having that discussion. And
the other thing too is that even if it's real, you still look like a fucking cornball.
Right, but it's not the point. It's like if you have a contact with a person like that and you do that, you're gonna blow that contact if they're legit.
Exactly. And that's the thing is that, like, we know your shit's not legit because you keep vomiting it out and nobody cuts you off, supposedly. Like, we're supposed to believe that the source sees this and goes, yes, let me continue to give this information. And why would they do that?
It's probably like a guy that lives near the stadium. He's like, hey, man. Like,
so they're either in on the circle jerk, or they're a sociopath, or they're full of shit, or all three.
#Whelp.
Oh.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I'm going to throw shade to her, too. She knew she was... Come on.
Of course. Joe Cena's on a fucking power trip. Joe Cena loves her power.
Yep.
And she's part of the, she does shit for the players. Like, that's how she actually stays on good terms with all of them. So she does shit for the players. So I'm sure they like it. Like, when she tweets out Whelp, the players are dying, bro. Like, they are so just loving the fact that we get so twisted up that easily over one little fucking word. Like, we're just like just fucking hanging ourselves with a fucking... Twitter wire, like, over that shit. Like, we can't get enough. And the players are fucking dying, bro.
I will say this, just prepare for a news drop today. That's all I'm saying.
On Friday?
They decided to go with the Friday news drop.
But they won't do that for something they're so proud of. Somebody on Bears Reddit has private plane trackers. Somebody showed a thing that it was like a private jet from Seattle to Chicago. Like, went, it's like they're like on there, like they're like tracking private jets. Like it's on some next level shit.
Oh, Bears Twitter and Bears Reddit's got to be super dark.
Our franchise, the whole outlook of it's going to change tomorrow with this announcement. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
you think so? What's it going to be?
You got sources, do you?
I'm just trying to be like them.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just go to text and sources.
Nobody, like, let me just say this, that nobody with real sources is dropping information with GIFs. Okay? Correct. They might use some GIFs later. Actually, no, Rappaport and fucking Schefter don't lower themselves to the rabble of GIFs. There's a lot of people that use GIFs.
And they don't and hashtag the hell out of things.
No. Like, Schefter just is like, pa-pow, here's the info. I'll throw a hashtag. He throws a hashtag every now and then. Like, Rappaport's the same way. Rappaport likes to quote tweet his own tweets. That's the move that those dudes are all about. It's like, oh, and also this. Correction that. Pa-pa.
And look, I'm on TV, and I'm on TV, and I'm on TV.
Yeah, like, everybody couldn't wait to drag the Bears over supposedly making Cairo Santos the highest paid kicker in the league, which quickly was completely debunked. Like, they just couldn't wait to like. Everybody's so ready to crush the Bears over everything,
Even
like,
our own, yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's just like everybody on Twitter. Yeah, like everybody on Twitter is like, would love to be Schefter. That shit seems stressful as hell.
Can you imagine how many? No, thanks.
Oh, and the power that he has. Like,
I liked him better when he was with the NFL Network.
I mean, I like hearing him on shows. Like, I give him props for going on shows and actually being pretty real. But I just think like he's, I wouldn't want to be him. I'd like to see what it's like. I'd like to play being John Malkovich with fucking Adam Schefter, like jump in there and see what the fuck's going on in here. Like, he must really have like
his
4
phone's
phones.
Got to be insane.
Dude, he's got to have like 4 phones, and he's just going because he doesn't seem like a guy who has a team of people because he can't afford the leaks.
Right. And who said?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, I don't know that anybody has any real insider info. It's like, oh, we play fucking streaming video games with these guys, so we think we know something. It's like, you're just around for when they drop a racial slur. That's your big story that you get.
Right.
Or whatever the hell goes on streaming.
Has you watched any tape on anybody lately, Brian?
Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to talk about that tonight because we got free agency coming up. But I watched.
We'll do free agency then.
You want to do free agency tonight?
Yeah, we can do some. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I was looking at the quarterbacks, man. I really like Justin Fields. Like, if there is no franchise quarterback going to be obtained through trade, like if we could get up to that point, I heard he might be slipping a little bit. I really like Fields.
Yeah, I've heard he's slipping, but Albright just said tonight that he thinks there's going to be 5 quarterbacks in the top 10.
I was telling you guys that earlier, the mocks I was seeing earlier,
so
January.
He's saying that like Lance is the 5th, and he's like number 8 or 9 is what he's seeing.
Yeah,
man, that's rich.
Yeah,
that's really rich.
It's an important position.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at it. I mean, it's like the Jets are definitely taking. I mean, it's Lawrence and it's Wilson, right? So after that, you can 100% see the Falcons taking Fields. I mean, why not?
What if Lawrence fell?
He won't.
Could you imagine?
I think that the Jaguars are going to save us from Alex Smith because he's going to go back with Urban Meyer.
You think so?
Absolutely. I mean, if he has the choice of playing in Jacksonville,
then we'll get Gardner.
Yeah, probably.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the free agents, yeah.
Well, that's what people are saying is like somebody put it out there, and I don't know who it was, but somebody put it out there that like the Seahawks won't do the deal with the Bears because there's no quarterback replacement possibility in the deal. So
yeah, that was coming from Kimes, who's a Seahawks fan. She doesn't want it to go down.
Yeah, no, she is a big Seahawks fan, so I don't believe her. I don't think she's being rational, and she's a low key Bears hater too. She's funny, but she's a low key Bears hater. But yeah, I don't know if I believe that. I mean, I was saying today, like, wouldn't it be crazy if Cam Newton? I could see Cam Newton ending up on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
If Russell, I mean, because I think that there's enough egos involved in the situation that shit's gonna get weird. And Pace was telling us something when he said, you don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. What was he basically saying is that I do know. Jimmy Graham is Russell Wilson's dude.
That's the thing. Like, I keep seeing things about, Jimmy Graham's going to be cap casualty. Not if Russ is on the way here.
I said last week that he is going to get extended. He's definitely going to be here for this season. They're going to rework his deal. He's going to probably be here for a year or two. But he is Russell Wilson's man 50 grand, dude. Like, he is down with that, dude. He knows what's going on, and I guarantee you that he is telling Pace. Like, he's an insider to this whole situation. And I think Pace told us that by telling us that he doesn't know what's going on behind closed doors. He fucking does know. He doesn't know what's going on behind closed doors in Houston.
They also hinted at there's things that are going on you guys haven't heard about.
Exactly. And I mean, maybe Tashawn Gibson has a little bit of insight into what's going on in Houston. He's talked about it. Like, I mean, he basically said, like, everything you've heard is true.
Their coach is in such a rough spot. My God. They showed interviews of him.
Yeah, like, and this dude is, like, they hired, like, this journeyman, like, random. Like, I guarantee you, like, he has no opinions about anything.
Cannon fodder. Go.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know how it went down, but if I'm Bieniemy, I'm like, thank God I didn't take that job.
Right.
Bieniemy dodged a bullet by not taking that fucking job.
He might have rejected it for all we know, man.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he can't say anything. I'm sure, like, people don't understand the type of non-disclosure agreements that get signed behind closed doors. They cannot just rip each other. Like,
right.
You know, like, I guarantee you that if there's an offer made, there's a non-disclosure that you sign that says you cannot talk about this offer. You cannot say what happened with it. Like, you know, and there may be a statute of limitations with that. There may not be. It may be in perpetuity that you cannot say anything about this shit.
Bieniemy probably like, is Deshaun staying or not?
Oh, of course. I hope he would be. I mean, I don't know. So it's just, I think Houston's a bigger mess, and I don't think that the Bears have as much insight into what's going on in Houston. But I think, that's what I'm saying is I think there's enough weird ego shit going on. Pete Carroll's got a huge ego. John Schneider has a huge ego. John Schneider thinks, I found Russell Wilson in the third round. I could find another one on some level. And it's all about credit. Russell Wilson wants to be the reason that a Super Bowl is won.
God, you win a Super Bowl in Chicago, you're automatically God status.
Yeah. But John Schneider, I mean, he wants to be the reason too.
I wonder how that feels as a Seahawks fan. Does it feel the same, you think, as it did with us and the Bears?
They're so burnt out up there.
I mean, they're passionate fans. They've seen a lot. Like, Russell Wilson is like the winningest quarterback ever. Like, in his
Dave
first
Craig and Steve Largent days, you know, you think about that. That's when I was.
Yeah, like, I mean, Brian Bosworth, fucking, Sean Alexander. And then they went to the league. They got the Legion of Boom, and they still didn't have a quarterback. They had fucking Hasselbeck. Then
Hasselbeck had some good seasons.
No. I mean, Hasselbeck, dude, if he was a Bear, would be like, like, oh my God, Hasselbeck, what a legend.
And then they brought dude from Green Bay in, and he didn't.
Yeah.
They gave him.
Well, and that was weird. Like that was like the strangest thing ever. Like, Matt Flynn got that fucking contract off of 1 game or 2 games, basically.
It worked because they ended up with Russell Wilson.
Right. Which is fucked up because I think it was Mike Tice was banging on the table for the Bears to take Russell Wilson, right?
Of course. I think that's what didn't his son say that or something?
Yes. Yeah, on the Athletic. Hogan Johns, I think, or no. Yeah, was it Hogan Johns? Yeah, it was Hogan Johns. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, shit goes down. It's crazy. Like that. I think I really feel like that they have plans for every fucking scenario, and they have to. So, like, if X happens, this is what we're gonna do. If this happens, this is what we're gonna do. And somewhere in that list of plans, they have fucking a plan where Foles is the quarterback, and somewhere, and everybody's like, maybe this is behind fucking.
Don't do it,
bro. It's maybe behind glass, and it's like, do not break. There's a Mitch scenario.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't I can't deal with that mentally. Brian left.
Brian can't either. He's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Brian left. I can't even deal with that mentally. But it has to be there. There's a file that's just like,
it's one piece of paper
Yeah.
We're fucked.
And here's the thing about Mitch is that he can be lied to. Like everybody thinks, oh, Mitch is so bitter. Mitch is mad. Mitch is not mad. Mitch is rich. Mitch is having a great fucking time. Mitch just got engaged. Mitch is having the time of his fucking life. He doesn't give a fuck.
Dude.
At the worst.
Why?
At the worst. No, but I'm just saying, like, Mitch is not torn up like we are.
Offering him a contract would make him happy.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna be knocking down his door.
If they came to Mitch and they were like,
I don't want to talk about
Mitch. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying the plan exists, and it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. That plan is like a bowl of cottage cheese to me. Like Mitch's cottage cheese.
No, because cottage cheese can actually taste good in certain circumstances.
Yo, some people love cottage cheese, apparently.
Not that, yeah.
No, like we found out that, Raul unearthed a fucking cottage cheese Gestapo that's out there.
And I'm sure there are some fans that know how Mitch tastes because we just saw that for years.
Right. How my Mitch taste.
That's the poll we should put out. Hey, truthers, what tastes worse, Mitch Trubisky or cottage cheese?
Oh, and people are running polls. Who's better, Darnold or Trubisky? And fact of the matter is that there's no way in the world you could believe that Darnold is better.
You don't, yeah, but he's also
as bad as Mitch is.
I think his circumstances were worse, so it's
hard.
Fuck
all that.
Without seeing two quarterbacks, it would have to be like Mitch and Darnold in the same system. There's a lot to that. I don't watch enough Jets football to really speak on that.
All I know is that look at the receivers that Mitch had in 2017, and it's not like he lit up the world. He certainly didn't.
Okay,
but it's not like he was dropped into some amazing situation. Like,
he's overthrown guys. He's underthrown guys. It's just constant.
We saw him look just as good as Darnold in a Dowell Loggins offense with no talent. Like, I mean, it's the same shit. It's arguing like this piece of shit is over here is cool. This one's on fire.
Yeah, I'm not defending Darnold, but it's like he made.
I'm just saying, like, that's what it's come to. We're actually having arguments about who's better. No one is better. They both suck.
Darnold's a lot younger though.
No, he's 1 year.
I thought.
Like in age?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he's like at least 3-4 years younger. I may be off on that.
How is that possible?
I thought
they both came out their junior years.
Who cares?
It's just exactly. Who cares? Fuck both these dudes. I'm just saying that there are plans in the fucking file for both these losers.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's 23, man.
Like, people can talk themselves into Sam Darnold, but then you bring up Tyrod Taylor, and it's like, oh, you fucking moron, let me tell you about X, Y, and Z. Like, come on.
Darnold is 23 years old.
Darnold, is interception king. Except for he doesn't put up the stats. Like, you say that about Winston, but at least Winston threw for 30,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Like,
all right, Mitch is 26, Darnold's 23.
Right.
Which is weird. Like, how does that work?
Well, when you suck, you have to play behind other quarterbacks in college.
He probably redshirted
but you
and
can't
shit.
Come out I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that.
Oh, this was his 4th season, right? Yeah.
Mitch couldn't even go to college in Ohio.
Correct.
We already been over this. So, I don't know. I'm just like, it's like, I don't even know what I'll like.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say full circle is that we're back to the quarterback,
Yeah.
We're back in the draft. We don't know at 20, we're not going to be able to get one, it looks like. Is there anything else that has tickled your fancy that has just been like, wow, I could see this guy? I mean, I found a guy that I really like on the line. He's nasty.
Ooh.
Alex Leatherwood. Is his first name Alex? Leatherwood.
Yep.
Quick,
I've seen him fall into the second round.
Quick, long arms, man. Moves well.
Yep.
I like Darnold. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
No, I was gonna say I like Darrisaw in the first round if we're there.
I don't like Darrisaw.
No,
From Virginia Tech, he leans too much. He opens his hips too early whenever he's going for a kick, going on his kick blocks. You just see it. He gets hurt. Speed's going to hurt him. NFL's going to be a bad scene for him.
Did you listen to the Brandon Thorne on Olin, Chair?
No, I didn't.
Brandon Thorne, he basically specializes in offensive line analysis and scouting, and he was saying basically that like it's it's obviously very hard to scout some of these guys, but what he focuses on, and this makes sense, it's not some mind-blowing information, but it's like you have to study them against the best competition.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I watched Leatherwood against Clemson.
Right.
And I also watched the kid from Notre Dame.
Eichenberg. Yeah, I like
Eichenberg versus
course,
Clemson.
but...
Right. Well, and sometimes, I mean, you also, you're talking about kids, 19-year-old kids. Like, so, sometimes kids just have a fucking bad day. They haven't learned how to,
if Leatherwood falls to the second round and we have a second round pick, they would be stupid to pass on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's fast, he's big, he's strong.
I'd be fine if we went back to back tackle.
Level. I mean, if we have that scenario, which we don't know, obviously, this is an important draft. This will be
I think it's so funny. Like, people still want to go with this whole, look at this guy, and then you say, well, who has he played? It doesn't matter. And then you say, like, oh, the Alabama guys and the guys on these top teams are somehow downgraded because they're surrounded with great talent. Like, the whole idea that Justin Fields is even dropping is such horseshit.
Right.
Like, I mean, I hope that somehow that's being manufactured by the 49ers. I mean, that's my theory, is that the 49ers right now are actually getting people to believe that they're going to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. That is the biggest lie that has ever been told. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is such an obvious cut.
The contract alone.
Yeah, it's just a free pass. Like, they could just get out of $25 million.
Who do you have?
It doesn't matter. He's so injury prone. It's like, people think it's just about him missing a pass.
The other guys on that roster.
Yeah, but they're already used to the
Jimmy's gonna end up back in New England.
They're used to Beathard, exactly, 100%. Jimmy Garoppolo will be back in New England. And it won't be because of trade, because Bill would never. Bill will wait that situation out. He's playing chess and they're playing checkers.
Bill's got a lot of money to spend too. They're up to like 210 available.
I wish. Like, if we could somehow
not available. Sorry, the adjusted.
Well, so that's like. But my point is this: is that like you downgrade these guys for playing with great competition. It's fucking great players around them, but they're also playing against top competition. I mean, like, how does that downgrade guys? Like, it's like, and because then you have to like look at it with a more, fine-tooth comb, a magnifying glass, and say, okay, Kyle Trask is also playing with top. He's got Kyle Pitts and he's got fucking
the receiver.
Whatever. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
You can see when you watch him that these guys have to make acrobatic catches. They're open as fuck, but they still have to make acrobatic catches on his throws, and it's great for them.
Well, I mean, Mac Jones is accurate. He's right. Poised. I do like him. I just, like I said, there's special, and then I just think he's going to be a game manager.
Yeah, or he ends up being Tom Brady.
He could be, yeah.
Like, I just think he has that. I feel like he has that, like, like if you looked through his eyes, he would see like a grid. You know what I mean? And you
got to remember, Tom Brady was a kid that was benched at Michigan, not once, twice.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Right. And
Jordan
was cut at one point in his
right. I'm just saying that's not.
I know, but I'm saying like that shit needs to happen to dudes.
It was also
for them to be truly great.
also a situation where I think that Patriots defense was highly underrated. Like they had a pretty sick defense when he first started winning Super Bowls.
Who's a ginger? Is he calling Mac Jones a ginger? Strabiscus and Gravy said no, he's a ginger. Gingers don't win Super Bowls. Who? Is Mac Jones a ginger? I don't know about that.
No,
Ginger conspiracy.
I don't think so.
I'll have to converse with my ginger counsel and see about this.
Yeah, I'll have to go to the High Ginger Council and see who. Oh, Trask. Trask is a ginger? You know, I don't know. This is coming out of left field.
He's not even on my. He's not on my radar. Trask.
Trask. I'm down for Newman. I'm down for fucking Kellen Mond.
Yeah, Kellen Mond. Somebody talking about Kellen Mond moving up in the draft boards. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's so much misinformation and so much bullshit right now.
It's so easy to play everybody too.
And we got plenty of time to talk about it.
The 49ers, right? 49ers are. I think they're definitely all about Justin Fields. Like,
it would make sense.
No fucking way that Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter next year for
Fields, I think, is the second best in this draft. I think the Wilson hype is. I think he's gonna be that guy. I don't know. I just don't see it. I've been wrong before.
It's hard to say. He does. I mean, here's what I'll say about Wilson is that like he makes some fucking special throws.
He had a very good season this season. The season before wasn't great.
It's against nobody, competition wise, but regardless, he makes some fucking wow.
He's got arm talent. No question.
Yeah, like. He's not going to get anything close to the protection that he got and the time that he got.
The separation those guys get too.
Right, but there's still times where it's like, holy fuck! Like he makes, like
let's rip. Well, we've seen that.
Throws.
We've seen that though.
Yeah,
we've seen it. And
right. I mean, that's why I call him Mormon Mitch. I mean, I don't call him that for no reason.
Right. He's straight. Like Utah. I think born and raised.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think he's more than Mitch.
BYU, bringing the headband, Jim McMahon, throw a beer in.
It's all acts. It's all some TikTok shit. Right. Like I don't know. He's on some boy band shit, as far as I'm concerned. So I mean, and to me, you'd be stupid. Like if Fields actually falls in this draft, I'll be like, oh my god, what a bunch of bullshit. Like, I mean, who are you taking over him?
Lawrence, that's it.
Right, but if you're the Falcons, you're the 49ers, you're the Panthers, you're telling me you're not going to take fucking Fields?
Yeah,
are you crazy? All those dudes are taking Fields. I mean, that's why I think
need a lot of pieces, though. It depends on their philosophy.
I think Miami, if Miami stays with Tua, I think they should trade down.
They've got so many picks.
I know, but I still think they should trade down because there is going to be someone stupid like the Bears.
And they traded for last year's first round pick tackle. That's a good damn GM.
Right.
And they're under the cap.
If you got Tua, you can bring in this college receiver.
Well, didn't they just get somebody else too?
Yeah, they got the guy from Tennessee that was kind of a bum.
Yeah.
Doesn't Miami have like
another first round pick?
Yeah.
I don't think Miami moves at all. They already got like 3 in the top 50.
I just think they trade down because somebody's gonna be desperate for that pick.
You straight up take that Alabama wide receiver and put him back with Tua.
Right, but I just think if you have somebody like the Bears or somebody that's desperate for a quarterback and they call up Miami and they say we'll give you next year's number 1 plus 20, like
that's going to be a scary team, boys. If they keep
absolutely
it
is, and that's what I'm saying. If
they hit, the Dolphins are going to be terrifying.
Yeah, if they end up with the cap if they end up with Waddle or fucking what's his face from Alabama,
Devonta Smith. That's what I'm saying. They put him back with Tua. Then
right. But that's why they could trade down. Like, because I think if somebody wants to jump up and take a quarterback, then they know that Devonta Smith is going to be there for them. Now, that's again where the Bears don't have a lot of ammo. Like, it's like the 20th just doesn't carry much weight. damn win streak, bro.
You tagged somebody, and you can pair it with the 20th. And they need that position.
They're saying that Orlando Brown is like, Orlando Brown has entered the portal in order in trade talks.
There's your right tackle.
Why doesn't he want to play left? Isn't that the whole deal?
Yeah, but
the whole deal is that he wants to play left. He doesn't want to be a guard. He wants to be a left tackle because he wants to get the big money, which is fucking dumb because guards are getting 12. Like, tackles are maxed out in my opinion.
I'll never forget the year that I went to the combine. He was one of the featured tackles, and he flopped the combine terribly. I mean,
saying tackles are maxed out.
Dude, McGlinchey haven't picked up his 5th year. Was that what I read? Something like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
The byproduct of the way that they are now protecting the quarterback is that two things are happening. Tackle, and we've already talked about this because we talked about it within the context of but it's changing. Interior is a lot more important. Interior pressure is where defenses are focusing. They don't have the time. Edge rushers, offenses are so quick now, and they don't have the time. I don't care how fast you are as an edge rusher. If you're going to come around the edge, teams are going to beat you. There's no time to come around the edge.
See us.
Unless it's exactly. We're a step fucking behind. Like, and I was wrong. Like, and shout out to Raul and other people who saw the problem with Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
And how basically what Robert Quinn does is kind of obsolete now. Teams have figured that shit out. They're like, it's I mean, you still have to honor it. Don't get me wrong. But you have to be so fast to get home on the edge now. Like, you have to be Khalil Mack on fucking greenies to get home. Like, it's just how it is. And Robert Quinn, with whatever was wrong with him, he couldn't do it. Because they just been schemed up. Unless you can disguise. And that's what was obviously fucking missing 100% from Pagano's shit, is that you just knew what was coming. But yeah, Quentin Nelson, I mean, we've talked about Quentin Nelson ad nauseum. Trubisky says Quentin Nelson going to change the guard. He already did.
Yep.
He already did. And what did Ryan Pace do? And this is, I'm stealing this from Olin. But Ryan Pace took the money when he should have signed to Graham Glasgow, which we were all saying. He fucking signed an obsolete edge rusher.
I'm telling you right now, the Eichenberg kid, he's got all the. I'm never one to heap praise on anybody from Notre Dame.
Yeah, what do you know, Notre Dame?
He's got the right stance. He doesn't overextend. The kid's good.
I mean, some shit.
I don't know if he's great. I don't know if he's great, but he's going to be solid.
They produce offensive linemen, man.
Yeah, some of these,
his stance, man, the way he kicks, he's super smooth. He doesn't fucking overextend his feet. He keeps a good distance. It reminds me so much of watching McGlinchey and watching, fucking Nelson. Nelson's stance at the combine was completely different. Kind of like, he kept it like this, high and tight, not. And watching him, it just reminded me of that. It's like, it's being taught there at Notre Dame, and I hate to say it, but they're actually pretty. He's going to be a pretty good tackle, I think, for somebody.
Yeah, I think the same thing, man. He's the kid's a beast.
Oh,
he doesn't overpower people, but he doesn't get beat on his technique. His technique is very good.
Right, and that's what I think, is that there is a chance that there is a point where the Bears won't go to with all this shit.
Fundamentals is huge at that position.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And it
I'm just
shows.
saying, like, I think that it's possible that the desperation level of Nagy and Payson, I'm just basically almost like sounding like Hub, but I think there's a possibility that the desperation of those two is being oversold slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't 100% believe that they are actually willing to go to the lengths that some people are saying it might be necessary to go to in order to get Russell Wilson, even though they probably should just, throw themselves in the woodshed and just say go to town. But I think there's something that may hold them back. And if, I don't know what that is. I don't know where what that level is, but there's a certain amount of like.
McCaskey said they're all in on Wilson. Remember that? The Bears blog told us that.
Yeah.
He'll give up whatever it takes.
No, George is George is like eating cottage cheese and he's just happy. Like he's just sitting in his boxers and eating cottage cheese. Like he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
That reminds me of how we got blocked by Brad Biggs.
Brian, I am still
that's not what it was. No, he had a paper under his neck at a press conference. And somebody showed it. He was in a picture, and I was like, "Does Biggs wearing a bib right there?" And that's where he blocked me.
Well, and then we all recall fucking Akeem Hicks ripping him.
Yeah, that was pretty.
He's sensitive. It's all right.
It's all good. So, what do you anything? I mean, I don't think free agency is going to be very active for us unless we start clearing a lot of room. I mean,
I see them mostly trying to bring back as many people as they can. I think Deshaun comes back. I don't really see I don't see that much movement. Like I think
maybe a quarterback if nothing else is available.
Right, but I'm saying I think you'll restructure some dudes. If they do make it, let's say that the Wilson thing just doesn't happen for whatever reason, and he doesn't end up going anywhere.
Reality.
Wouldn't it be nice if it happened before free agency, though?
They might just, at some point, somebody might say to Pete, like, "Hey, man, you got to swallow your fucking pride." And they go, "Listen, like
$1 million, though. That's
listen, that's the
swallow your pride, like when you could have just handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch instead. You have Russ pass up the middle. That kind of pride.
Well, see, that's what's fucked up is that Pete Carroll has been living with that moment for a long ass time, and that's I guarantee you that's the trump card that Pete has over Russ, and that's the whole shit.
It was almost like he didn't want Marshawn being a Super Bowl hero.
But Pete also has this thing with Russ now where he says, "Motherfucker, I already trusted you. I got killed for it, and you fucking lost us the game." Guarantee you that Pete Carroll is not blaming himself for that shit. He blames Russ for that shit.
Let's hope.
But I'm saying that's where the real divide between these two dudes came from is that Russ came out. Russ literally threw the game-losing interception in the Super Bowl and somehow didn't get blamed for it. Pete Carroll got blamed for it. Right? There was no way in the world that Marshawn wasn't going to score. That's just a given.
I know. I didn't understand it at all.
And I think that on some level, Pete Carroll is like, "Fuck you, Russ. I already trusted you."
Yeah, and throwing into the middle like that in the end zone is a dangerous way to make a living.
I mean, good God. Malcolm Butler just got cut.
He got Malcolm Butler paid.
Absolutely. He got paid like fucking, what's his face on the Cowboys? The Super Bowl MVP, Larry, was the most random Super Bowl MVP because he caught fucking bunch of interceptions from Neil O'Donnell or whatever, or from the Steelers. Oh, fucking, what was his name? You know what I'm talking about. The Cowboys DB.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Larry something.
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown got fucking paid. Not in today's money paid, but he got paid off of that. And he won a Super Bowl MVP for it. Because fucking Steelers quarterback just threw him the ball
Neil
like 5
O'Donnell
times.
thought he was open.
Yeah, apparently, like Neil
He's
O'Donnell.
open.
Neil O'Donnell thought that he was wearing a Steelers jersey, or got paid off or some shit. Like, but that's the thing, isn't like? So I think there's that on some level.
Isn't it odd that the sports books took some of the sports books
Yes.
took the bet down? No, I don't know. They do that occasionally for different reasons, but
It's back up though, isn't it?
I don't know.
I haven't heard it's back up. I heard it's still down.
I'm not
Oh,
a
is it
degenerate
not?
like that, so if anybody is, let us know.
Well,
I just saw
here's
tweets,
what
man.
I've
I
heard.
don't
Yeah,
do
I'm not
sports
supporting
gambling.
that.
I'm not either, but here's what I heard is that they took it down before the J.J. Watt thing. They took it down before the Stafford thing. They took it down. Those are the two biggest ones recently. That when they feel, and there's two reasons for that. One is that they know something. Two is that the money's pouring in. And once the shit gets out of balance, they're gonna be like, no, fucking, they're running a calculation, and they're like, basically, it gets to a point where it's impossible for them to win. So if the house feels like we cannot possibly win this bet, they're gonna cut it off. So it doesn't mean that Vegas knows a secret. It just means they're gonna go upside down on the bet. Like they're, That's. I mean, people think that like.
Well, but if they were to hear something, they know somebody else is gonna try to move that, try to make money off that.
Vegas's goal is to keep the action level.
Define level tilted towards the house.
Correct. But they don't want to expose themselves either. It's a long game for them. You know what I mean? They look at the year and go, if we win 58% of the time, we're killing the game.
All right, but it went from 4 possible teams, then Dak getting signed. Now it started trickling down too. That had an effect on them taking that down.
It might just be a genius move by a sports book to create a betting frenzy. And by putting it back up, be like, oh well, okay, the bet's still up. There it is.
Maybe they definitely they moved the line. They moved the line on the
Bears too, didn't they?
The Bears.
So,
but yeah, you might be right. It is back up because B-Rob fucking.
Yeah, like the Jets are the favorite or something. Somebody was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Waddle's been saying this. Is there's still a chance of a dark horse team or two showing up?
Oh yeah.
I mean, just because they listed those
have
4,
money and draft capital.
Yeah.
Like
just because they listed those 4. I mean, maybe Russ is like, I don't
get me
know.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I just they said that now the Seahawks want to trade him as much as they as he wants to be traded supposedly.
Man, George loves Ryan Pace. I tell you.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't." He said the
slander continues.
No, he said the
South
PFF
Carolina,
Brad. He told the PFF Brad, "Don't stress about it. Ryan Pace is an elite GM who's always pulling out new tricks."
Oh, Lord Troll, the troll monster. You never know with George.
I think that pretty much does it for the evening, don't
He
you?
also quote tweeted Mitchell Schwartz. Wait. So somebody tweeted, it's official. Patrick Mahomes' greed is going to end his career. I mean, he deserves some money, but $50 million a year is going to make it where you can't have 2 Pro Bowl top 5 tackles. But I'm assuming he knew that when he signed the contract. Well, hopefully. And then Mitchell Schwartz quote tweeted it and said, "This is absurd. Look at Pat's deal. Compared to any other QB, he set it up to take way less money the first few years than all the rest. We kept everyone we wanted and made the Super Bowl. The pandemic dropped the cap by 25 to 30 million from the projected amount. Blame that, not Pat." Damn, Mitchell Schwartz. And then George says, "I'm blaming myselfish." Doesn't even attempt to make Mahomes into something funny. He needs to learn some humility and take a pay cut. And I guarantee you he's going to have Chiefs fans like going at him.
You'd hate to see that be a dysfunctional problem. It'd be terrible.
Speaking of dysfunction, Riley Reef, huh? Wyatt's in the chat.
Oh, yeah, Riley Reef, whatever.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's just wrap this up. Wrap it up.
All right, wrap it up. There's going to be plenty more to fucking talk about.
We'll have Russ watch again next week, I'm sure.
Well, no, me and Jerry
go on forever. The Corn Pope.
We're going to be breaking down tape. Me and Jerry, live.
Yeah, I'm going to work on... I did some work on the lineman. Oh, well, welcome, Marnu.
Thank you, Marnu, for watching. Welcome to the Corn Pope.
Corn Pope it is.
The Corn Pope abides. Folks,
enjoy the show. And
thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. We appreciate you.
Watch out. Watch for Wendy City Gridiron putting stuff on our Facebook group.
It's just another episode of the Tailgate Show.
The Bears.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Corn Pope.
Domine Bears.
We're going to hell.
You don't go to hell for slandering Catholics.